Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is bouncing from this crucial area of support. And do not be fooled by that latest little drop off in the short term, because that was just a liquidity grab, taking out this massive level of liquidity in the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. And right now, Bitcoin is still repeating history. So due to that latest little drop and now the bounce from this massive area of support, I've just used that as an opportunity to open a new trade. Yes, that is right. I'm now currently in a new $200,000 Bitcoin trade, already starting to head into profits, which I'll share in just a moment. My exact trading strategy for this Bitcoin trade, alongside, of course, my existing XRP trade, still in profits, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is still bouncing from this major area of support on the price chart. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, taking a really quick look at the US stock market today. This is the S&P 500 index on the 1 hour time frame, and we can see that over the last 1 day or so, of course, we saw a drop in the short term in the US stock market, but right now in the imminent short term, just over the last few hours or so, we've started just a very slight little bounce. So of course, as I always say, the US stock market and the crypto market are highly correlated. It's not a perfect one-to-one correlation, but usually if we see some sort of move like this, a drop and then a slight little bounce, we usually see something quite similar to that in the crypto market. So keep that in mind. This was also potentially one of the causes as to why we saw a little further of a drop in the crypto market just over the last few hours, over the last 1 day, but right now in the immediate short term, having a slight bounce. And so with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, here on the weekly time frame, not much has changed on the larger time frames over the last 1 day. So this super trend indicator still sitting in the red, and of course we still have this massive bearish divergence actively playing out on the weekly Bitcoin price chart. But if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin price chart right now, despite that latest little drop in the short term, obviously overall we're still seeing very similar price action right now to what we saw around the middle of May 2022, obviously following all of what's just happened over the last, not just the last few days, but really the last multiple months, playing out very, very similar price action to what we saw basically in the first half of 2022. And now, obviously, if you've been watching my recent videos here on the channel, you'll know that I've explained all of this in more detail over the last few days and really over the last few weeks, since all the way back up here at 94K, the moment we broke back below that level, I've been talking about this fractal, in other words, history repeating. And right now, this is still potentially the case. Obviously, we've not yet invalidated this fractal despite that latest little drop in the price of Bitcoin, which means most likely in the coming days or possibly weeks, we could still continue a little bit of a sideways consolidation. So choppy sideways price action, or perhaps a slight little bounce. Once again, do not expect a lot of strength. Do not expect a huge bullish reversal, just a slight little relief, a break from all of the bearish price action, which can be in the form of some choppy sideways price action like this, with short-term bearish and short-term bullish moves for the next few days or next couple of weeks as a very likely scenario, basically what we saw in the second half of May 2022. And so if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, obviously right now we're still holding above this previous low at roughly 74 to 75,000 as a major level of support to watch out for. And of course, we're also still sitting in oversold territories in the daily Bitcoin RSI. And the last couple of times we confirmed an oversold signal in the daily Bitcoin RSI, we did at least see some sort of bounce over the next few days. Once again, I want to make it clear, this is not a bottom signal. Both of these previous examples, the price ultimately went lower at some stage later on. As we could see, this did not confirm the bottom for the price of Bitcoin, but it did mean that just in the short term, for the next few days or possibly weeks, we are likely going to see some sort of bounce or some sort of little relief, a break from all of the bearish price action just in the shorter term. And so once again, that is still the case here in the daily Bitcoin RSI. And if we're zooming out a little bit, again, taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin price chart, we have a very significant area of support to watch out for, sitting in between around 72,000 to 76,000, based on a previous significant support back here around April 2025, and also previous significant resistance throughout basically the first half of 2024. And so this is a multi-year area on the price chart with multi-years worth of significance, as we can see value on the price chart, massive resistance, massive support. So right now, of course, it is proving to be a major area of support, at least for now. We are still holding this area, as we can see, in between 72 to 76,000. But depending on where this next 3-day candle close actually confirms, obviously we may or may not be forming a bullish divergence any longer. Obviously, this never even confirms it all to begin with, but it's still something to potentially watch out for in case we see a bit more of a bounce just in the next couple of days before this 3-day candle close actually confirms in the next couple of days, in about 2 days from now. If we see a bounce in the next couple of days, then of course that can raise this RSI a little higher. And if it confirms above the previous low, then of course we still have a higher low forming, which means a possible bullish divergence is still forming. But even in that case, we'd still need to see confirmation. But overall, considering the fact that this fractal is still technically valid, not yet been invalidated, while the price is of course oversold, the RSI is oversold on the daily time frame, while the price is running into major support, and of course with the US stock market now experiencing a little short-term bounce, and also considering the fact that potentially that latest drop, alongside simply just following the stock market dropping in the short term, which is now bouncing, alongside that, potentially one of the major reasons as well as to why Bitcoin had that slight little drop in the short term is simply just a liquidity grab. We just dropped towards this exact level of liquidity to wipe out that massive level of liquidity that I've already been talking about here on the channel at roughly 73K, give or take. As we can see right here, it's sitting at around 73.1K. And basically over the last few hours, over the last 1 day, we pretty much exactly wiped out that liquidity. The price went down towards roughly 73 to 73.1K to hit that level of liquidity, wipe out those positions. And now once again, we're holding this as support and seeing that slight little bounce in the short term, simply following the stock market having a slight little bounce. And so utilizing all of this information, putting it together into a trading strategy right now, basically minutes ago, right before starting to record this video, I've just opened a new Bitcoin long position. Now, I want to make this clear. I don't expect a huge bullish reversal towards all-time highs right now or anything like that. So obviously, I'm not necessarily planning to keep this position open for a very long period of time, but this is just trading the slight little bounce or possibly a little bit more of a bullish relief at some stage in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Exactly what I've already been saying over the last couple of days. Obviously, in the last 2 videos here on the channel, I've been saying we're likely now about approaching a break or a relief from all of the bearish price action, not necessarily the bottom, but obviously still comparing to what we saw back here in 2022, which does suggest a little bit of a relief, maybe a slight little bounce at some stage in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So that's basically what this trade is, just trading that slight little bounce. And obviously so far, as I've recorded the video, is already heading into some slight little profits within a matter of minutes. And also here on this 1 hour time frame, we could see that the RSI is starting to form a slight higher low compared to this low that we saw back on the 1st of February, which is of course a short-term bullish divergence also potentially starting to play out here just in the short term. Remember, this is only on the 1 hour time frame, so it's a very short-term signal. Once again, understand the difference between the different time frames. The larger situation has not changed over the last 1 day. We're still not in the clear yet if we're talking about the next multiple months, but just in the next few days, the next 1 to 2 weeks, like I've already said, over the last 1 to 2 days, we're likely going to see a bit of a relief, which means that latest little drop here was potentially just a liquidity grab, and of course following the stock market, as I've already said multiple times this video. But potentially as the price of Bitcoin approaches these points of resistance along the way towards the upside, like especially around 79,000, at least in my situation, not financial advice, that'll definitely be a take profit point to at least reduce the size of the trade or take some profits here and there, not necessarily closing the entire trade at any one level, but that would definitely be a level that I'll be looking at taking some profits out of this trade. Remember, this is only a shorter term position that I'm planning to have here, not necessarily a huge trade over many weeks or months, because like I've been saying, once again, if we're talking about the next multiple months, things are still not looking too good, but the next 1 week or so might be okay for the price of Bitcoin. And in a way, this is also a bit of a hedge against my existing XRP shorts position, because over the last 1 day, I've made no new changes to this XRP shorts position. So of course, if we do end up seeing a bit more of a bullish relief at some stage over the coming days or possibly weeks in the crypto market, and of course, that would not necessarily be good news for the XRP shorts position, in that situation, it's very likely that Bitcoin would play out something similar, which means, of course, this long position would head into profit. puts. So ultimately, once again, this is a bit of a hedge against this previous short position that I entered, which I'm still currently in that trade, which I'll talk about later in this video. But as you can see, the XRP shorts position still about 5,000 USD realized profits, about 2,000 USD unrealized profits. So overall, close to 7,000 USD in profits over here. And of course, around 3 to 4,000, pretty much 4,000 USD already in profits on this Bitcoin long position in a matter of minutes. And so that's a quick update on my trading strategy for the price of Bitcoin, sharing and revealing to you exactly how I'm planning to make money in this crypto market, obviously completely for free here on YouTube, very transparently as usual. And if you want to take these trades for yourself to profit exactly like what I'm doing right now, personally, I'm taking this trade right here for Bitcoin over on the BTNX exchange, as you can see right here. So I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below the video in the description and in the pinned comment. In fact, the first link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the BTNX exchange, where there's currently, as you can see right here, an exclusive prize pool of up to 50,000 USDT. In other words, you have to make an account using that link below the video to BTNX in order to enter into this massive prize pool right here. So definitely, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. You might as well take advantage of this. It's essentially extra bonuses just by trading crypto. Once again, at first link below the video to BTNX. And in case you're wondering, yes, BTNX is a no KYC exchange. But if you want another exchange out there, another option that I'm also using myself for this other trade for XRP, this exchange that I'm using myself is the 2bit crypto exchange. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below the video in the description and in the pinned comment. In fact, the second link below this video will take you to this 2bit page right here, showing that 2bit just recently partnered with La Liga. So there's currently a limited time event happening right now over on 2bit with up to 800,000 USD in prizes just by trading crypto using that link below the video to 2bit. So especially if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, once again, you might as well check this out. You might as well take advantage of this. Essentially free money, free prizes over here just by trading crypto using that second link below the video. And yes, in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and right now in the immediate short term, we're actually seeing a bit of a drop in the Bitcoin dominance, which is ultimately the Bitcoin dominance continuing to play out this sideways price range, chopping around relatively sideways, as we could see, basically just erasing the previous gains in the Bitcoin dominance, just like how the previous gains were just erasing the previous losses in the Bitcoin dominance, still just basically range bounds, chopping around sideways. But as always, nothing that I say in these videos is personal financial advice. I don't know your personal financial situation, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just simply letting you know completely for free, very transparently, as always, how I'm making money in this crypto market. And I'll try to get this video out very quickly because already throughout just recording this video, I've already made another 1,000 USD in profits on this Bitcoin trade. So I'll try to be quick here. But with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and right now Ethereum is obviously still holding this major area of support here in between around 2150 to 2250, and we're still playing out this oversold signal in the daily Ethereum RSI. So obviously not a lot has changed over the last one day. Despite that latest little drop, we're still holding this area as support, and we're still likely going to follow very similar price action to whatever Bitcoin is doing, which suggests either a choppy sideways price range or potentially a little bit of a bullish relief. Once again, not a massive amount of strength, just a slight little relief in the short term for the coming days or possibly weeks is still very likely. That's still my prediction moving forward. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day time frame, of course, we're still running into this massive area of support here based on previous significant support in the price of ETH, sitting in between around 2.2k to 2.4k. And obviously over the last one day, we have seen a little more of a drop here in the 3-day Ethereum RSI, which means we're not necessarily forming a bullish divergence anymore. But considering that this next 3-day candle close confirms still in a couple of days from now, it's possible that if we see a bounce very, very soon, maybe we could form a slight little higher low. But overall, obviously the bullish divergence not even confirmed at all. So the main focus is really this area of support on the daily time frame, and of course this oversold signal playing out right now in the short term. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, not a lot has changed over the last one day on the weekly chart. We still have a massive bearish divergence playing out, which means do not expect a massive bullish trend reversal on the larger time frames anytime soon. As I've been saying for months now on the channel, of course, we could see short-term bullish relief, slight little bounces and things like that on smaller time frames here and there that last for maybe a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks. But if we're talking about multiple months, looking at the bigger picture, we're still not looking good, so keep that in mind. And as for support and resistance, I would expect a lot of resistance at around $1.80, considering we've now officially confirmed a weekly candle close well below $1.80, officially confirming this massive break towards the downside here. And as for support, we do have a bit of support at give or take $1.60, and below that, the next significant area to watch out for is at around $1.30 to $1.40. And if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart, just like Ethereum and Bitcoin on the daily time frame, we've also hit oversold in the daily XRP RSI. And the last time we saw an oversold signal confirming the daily XRP RSI, in at least the next few days, we did see a bit of a short-term bounce. Once again, this is not a reversal signal. This is not necessarily a bottom signal, but it does tell us that at least in the short term, for a period of days or possibly weeks, we could see and are likely going to see a slight little relief. Once again, either a slight bounce or maybe just some choppy sideways price action as the most likely outcomes from an oversold signal just in the short term here. And when it comes to my trading strategy for the price of XRP, obviously, as I've explained over the last few days, I've already entered into this XRP shorts position, but over the last one day, I've made no new change to this trade. So right now, it's still roughly around a 42,000 USDT XRP shorts position. Obviously, I already secured a decent amount of profits out of this trade and is still sitting in roughly 2,000 USDT in unrealized profits. But if the price of XRP continues a little bit more of a bullish relief in the coming days or weeks, then of course, in that situation, I'll potentially look at just closing this shorts position and maybe entering at a higher price, opening a new short position at a higher price. Or of course, the other scenario would be just to keep this short position open and just add to this existing shorts position from a higher price point, potentially in the coming days or weeks, if we do continue a little bit more of a short-term bullish relief, which is also another reason as to why I've just opened that slight little long position on Bitcoin as a bit of a hedge against this shorts position for XRP in case we do end up seeing a bit more of a bullish relief in the short term. And so once again, over the last one day, not much changed here for the XRP trading strategy. So still showing very transparently exactly how I'm making easy money in this crypto market, no matter what direction the price goes. If the price is dumping, I'm making money here with a short. If the price is pumping, I'm making money with a long. So it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty much always making money as I'm showing here on the channel. But if we're taking a look at Solana on the weekly time frame, right now the price of Solana is running into a major area of support that we need to pay attention to, sitting in between around $95 to $105. And previously, this has been massive support for the price. And if we confirm a break below $95, especially with weekly candle closes below that level, in that situation, we could likely easily see a move down towards in between $75 to $80 as the next massive area of support to watch out for. But if we break below 75, in that situation, we could likely see a massive move towards the downside, potentially down towards roughly $45 to $50 as the next massive target if we first break below 75 to 80. But of course, right now, the immediate support we're running into right now is sitting in between around 95 to 105. And in terms of short-term analysis and predictions, basically, I'm saying the exact same thing as what I've been saying throughout the video. So expect most likely a short-term relief, but the bigger picture not in the clear yet. It's basically the same story for Solana as usual. So without wasting any more of your time, getting straight into the price of Chainlink on the weekly time frame, it's a similar situation for Chainlink as well. Obviously, we're still just hanging on to this major support here at roughly around $9.50, give or take. So right now, like I've been saying throughout the video, we're likely going to have just a slight little relief in the short term in the coming days or possibly weeks, which means either choppy sideways price action or a very slight little bullish relief. Remember, do not expect a significant amount of bullish momentum or anything like that. Just a slight relief in the short term, but the bigger picture still not looking too good. So let's just say in a few weeks from now or a month from now, if the price ultimately breaks below 950 with confirmation, and especially if we fail to get back above that level, in that situation, we could likely see a move easily down towards $8 to $8.50 as the next massive support to watch out for. And if we break below $8 in that situation, we could potentially see a move all the way down towards around $5 to $5.50. But obviously for now, just in the short term, once again, expect a slight little relief as a very likely scenario. And so that's just an update on my exact trading strategies and my predictions moving forward for Bitcoin, XRP, and all of these other cryptos, of course. And once again, if you want to take any of these trades for yourself, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to take advantage of the some massive bonuses that are only available using those links. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well take advantage of those extra bonuses using the links to those exchanges below this video. And if you want to actually know how you can take these sort of trades for yourself to easily profit in the market, no matter what direction the prices go, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.